This video was very kindly sponsored by Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co. Hi! It's been a while since I sat down and really talked to you and stuff. I feel like that's the same thing I say every time I make a video with talking involved because I just don't post that often. Oh yeah, and all the materials that I'm using in the video will be linked in the description box if you are curious. Anyway, today I'm gonna be drawing and answering some of your questions. I'm just gonna try my best to answer as many as I can. But yeah, without further ado, let's just answer some questions. How is your posture? My back has been hurting a lot, so yeah, I've been trying to fix it. In what ways have you seen change in yourself since the pandemic? I've just been more honest with myself, I think. More honest with what I actually feel and what I want. Next we have, what's your favorite pastry? Milk buns, I think, are my favorite. Or croissants, donuts, cake. Is cake a pastry? Cake is like my favorite dessert ever, so yeah. So what tips would you give beginner artists like me? I wish someone told me when I was a beginner artist that I should just choose what I want to get good at first. Because obviously there are backgrounds and characters and color and etc, etc. So I think you should figure out what you want to get good at. For example, if you want to get good at drawing bodies, then you go right ahead with anatomy. Like figure out how arms work and how limbs look and study gesture and study life drawing, you know? So at least you have a guide. I mean, that's the tip I wish I heard when I first started drawing, so that is the tip I would give. And also, don't invest too much money on supplies at first, because I made the horrible mistake of buying just a bunch of art supplies, and it's good that I was able to explore, but I wish I just took it one at a time instead of playing with everything at the same time. Just the same thing with learning. I wish I focused on one thing first, see how I liked it, learned it a bit more before I moved on to the next thing, just so my brain could process what I was doing more, I guess. What do you do with things you have from old hobbies that you're not much into now? That's actually a really interesting question, now that I think about it. I actually just keep everything. I don't think I've ever had a hobby where I just threw away everything I had related to the hobby. I used to make candles when I was 15, I think, and I still have everything I used. So I just don't throw them away. I just keep them somewhere. Do you have any tips on how to start and tools to use? I've never been good at sketching or drawing, but I love to sketch and draw. Do I still have a chance to improve that, to be good at that? Yes, of course. Every single artist you talk to will have gone through whatever you're going through. Again, with what I said earlier, it really helps to know what you want to get good at too. Don't invest too much money on supplies, just use whatever you have at first. I would start with just paper and pencil. 2B is really good, and printer paper. I used to use printer paper all the time. I still do sometimes whenever I'm in a funk and I just wanna get out of a rut. A lot of the time I just take some printer paper and a 2B pencil. It could be branded, could be not, and just draw whatever. And most of the time it really helps me de-stress and get my creative juices flowing. So as of the moment, those are my current tips. Do you have any software recommendations for digital art? Obviously Photoshop is great. I use it at school, I use it at home. So if you have an iPad, then Procreate. Clip Studio Paint is also really good. I prefer using it on my computer. What are your current reads or your current favorite reads? Actually, I have a list over here. Happy Place by Emily Henry, Disaster Tourist by Yoon Ko-eun, and this is a French book. I'm not entirely sure what the translation is, but it's by Christelle Dabos. I don't know how to say it, but I'll put it on screen. Is there a manhwa that you've been wanting to read but can't? I wouldn't say I can't, I would say that I haven't really had the time to get into it, I guess. I'll leave the titles on screen because I can't really recall any of them at the moment. And lastly, how are you? I'm good. I've been taking time to prioritize my physical health. That explains like the slow uploads, and yeah, thank you all so much though for being like so understanding. I talked about this, I believe, at some point about like my upload schedule, but yeah, thank you so much for like understanding and still watching some of my videos, even though I don't post that often anymore. But yeah, I'm doing okay. Now before I continue, let's talk about this video's sponsors. So Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co are Japanese subscription box services that offer snacks all the way from Japan right to your doorstep. All their boxes contain a cultural guide booklet that tells you everything you need to know about what's inside the boxes, as well as information about the snacks' history, origin, ingredients, and other fun facts. They also have a theme every single month, so for May, Tokyo Treat's theme is called Osaka Snackation. Their boxes focus on more exclusive, popular, and limited edition snacks with at least 20 items in each box, so there's a lot to share unless you would prefer to eat everything alone, which is good too. As for Sakura Co, it looks like they changed their box's design, so that's exciting. Their theme for this month is mochi and fruit marvels. Sakura Co is all about traditional, authentic, and artisan snacks with a few extra surprises because they always include a postcard illustration in every single box, as well as a piece of dinnerware. And this month we have a really pretty chrysanthemum dish. Tokyo Treat and Sakura Co have been very good friends to this channel for a very long time, so they gave me a coupon code to share with you all so you can experience these snacks for yourself. Thanks, and more information down in the description box as well as in the pinned comment. Back to the questions. What's your favorite digital art tool? If you mean like actual tool in softwares, then the pencil brush is my best friend. I use it for everything. Sometimes I use it to color. I don't know, it's just fun. It feels like drawing with crayons, but digitally. So yeah. What's your MBTI? INFJ. And I know I'm INFJ because I have taken the test multiple times, and at some point I've studied like the cognitive functions, and I've branched out to Enneagram, you know? But I think that's a very INFJ thing to do. Does drawing affect you mentally? How can you draw hating everything that you do, and have you ever had imposter syndrome or wanting to give up? Yes, to all of that. Drawing affects me not just mentally but emotionally as well. I wish it didn't, but unfortunately that is what we're working with. There are times when I do want to quit and hate everything that I draw. It's a very real thing where you're asking me. Imposter syndrome, I've gone through that as well for the first few years of my drawing life. It's a normal thing to experience. Till now, I still do deal with that. Even though I kind of hate my work sometimes. Hate is a strong word, but at the end of the day, I feel like there's really nothing else I would rather do. I read a book by, I forgot what his name was. Anthony Robbins, is that his name? At some point he talked about like can and cannot. There's really nothing you cannot do. It's just that there are consequences that you're not willing to give up. He explains it much better than I can, but that really changed a lot for me because I can quit art. you know? I can, but it's just a part of me doesn't want to, because I know I love art. It's just that I want to create things and I'm just not at the skill where I'm able to create those things. So that's when the frustration comes. That's when I want to give up and everything. But in those times, I've decided to have more patience with myself and really just stop comparing myself to everyone else, because everyone's pace is different. Everyone improves at a different rate. So yeah, again, comparison is the thief of joy. Your body and your mind, your hands are trying their best, and it's only right that we thank that part of ourselves for trying really hard. So yeah. Of course, all of us have been tired of school. In your high school days, things must have been hectic with all the assignments and heavy workload, especially in your last year. I have a question of how do you overcome that tiredness or the feeling of giving up on anything, for example, school, etc. Someone somewhere said something and it stuck with me. I don't know where, I don't know who told me or if I found it on the internet, but when you're tired, it's basically your body telling you that you've done a lot and that you need to rest. I just kind of see it like that now. For example, if I'm tired of drawing this one artwork, I just take a step back, like drink some water, take a shower, take a nap, and come back to it with like a fresher mind. What's most effective for me in like getting over the tiredness and the exhaustion would be just to breathe, really, because I'm quite stubborn. I'm one of those people who think that I can just do everything if I put my mind to it. And yes, that is an option, but don't follow me, because I have taken steps to do that, but at the expense of my physical health, so that's not very good. You know, I'm sorry if I'm like spewing just the stupidest things, but taking a good break can do so much for like your heart and your mind and your body if you just have like a little more compassion with yourself. If you treat yourself as like a kid almost. Like, for example, if I had a daughter and she's been working day and night to finish this one project and she tells me that, "Mom, I'm tired," I will tell her to just stop whatever she's doing, you know, and just take a break. We can watch a movie and we can like dress her up, we can go shopping and stuff, and when we get home we can start doing our jobs again, but with like fresher eyes and just a fresher mind and rejuvenated. Easier said than done, obviously, because sometimes I still want to give up and I still am so tired, but you know, it doesn't really hurt to take a break if you can, you know? Imagine me over here rooting for you, like no matter what you do, even if you accomplish the task on time or not, you still did a good job, you still tried, and that is more than enough. How do you find balance between working on personal art and uni-related art, plates and stuff? How do you manage your time, basically? The answer is I don't. I wish I had a proper answer for this, but again, back then, or at least last year, I posted way more videos than I do this year, and I was still like submitting projects properly. That was because I didn't put my health first. You know, I didn't pace myself in a good way. I would take a week off doing like nothing, and then I would take another week doing everything and just compromise my sleep schedule and my food intake. And from afar, to people who don't really know what's going on behind the scenes, I'm doing very well because I'm obviously posting a lot and I'm drawing a lot and I'm submitting works for school and I'm getting good grades, etc., etc. Obviously, it all sounds so good, but backstage, I'm over here like getting 3 hours of sleep and eating like one meal a day. So obviously that's not sustainable, and I will not advise that you do the same. Nowadays, I have been trying to manage my time a little better. I feel just so much better physically now. Like, even though I'm not like doing the best in school, I'm no longer pushing myself because I got the mindset that it's just not that deep you know, if I don't get like an A on this project, it's fine. I'll settle for a B- and the world isn't gonna fall apart. Nowadays, I've just been focusing on putting my health first. And because of that, I do not have an answer for your question. I'm just gonna tell you my plan instead. So at least I can, you know, give you something. The ideal situation for me would be to work in the morning and just no work at night, which is very difficult for someone like me because I have so much more energy at night. As much as I want to be like, you know what if I'm just a night person and I just work better when the sun's out? No, my schedule cannot allow that. As much as I would want it to, I can't. So lately, at least, I'm still currently in school. I don't have summer, unfortunately. So I've just been trying to finish all my homework and all my plates in school. And so by the time I get home, even though there are still things that I haven't done, I make a point to have like a work-life boundary, if that makes sense. Like after 10 p.m. I'm not gonna be answering emails, I'm not gonna be checking this and that, you know what I mean? It's currently 8 p.m. where I'm at and I'm doing this voiceover, so yeah. Actually, I guess I am pretty managing my time okay. What? I don't know. I just try not to compromise my sleep anymore. That's just the goal right now. However, that's difficult because again, I'm used to like working at night and sometimes it's just like my body just itches to do work. You know what I mean? If you're someone who gets burnouts a lot, then you will know what I feel. Like, you know the itch I'm talking about, right? I feel like I have time and it's almost a waste not to do anything with it. But again, rest is not a waste of time. Even I have to say that to myself. So yeah. Work in the morning, rest at night, work-life boundaries. Yeah, hopefully that helps because I'm trying to achieve that as well. Oh, there's a follow-up question. Also, did it ever come to your mind to open a local art shop like in Shopee or just do pre-ordering or something? Because I'm dying to have your prints and stickers. Aww, that's so cute. I have thought about opening up an online art shop, but I just haven't had the time to really do that. I don't know, I'm scared. Imposter syndrome, part of me thinks that it might not be worth it, but we'll see, you know, if I have the time and if I have the budget to print everything and stuff, maybe I can do it. We'll see. You know, let's just fix our sleep schedules first before we think about anything else. How did you realize your own art style? So this is a question that comes up like every other video in the comments, and it's one of the questions that I find most difficult to answer because there's really nothing special about how I found my art style. When I started drawing, I had Pinterest and that was it. You know, DeviantArt, I guess, but I wasn't on Instagram, I wasn't anywhere. I just kind of focused on drawing, learning how to draw like a face and then an eye and then a body, and eventually I found how I liked drawing these things, and that's how my style happened. Yes, I know that that's such a boring answer, but obviously I had inspiration from other artists. I started drawing because of this artist Viria. She drew a lot of like Percy Jackson fan art, and that was the reason why I wanted to start drawing, because I wanted to draw my favorite characters. And I don't know, she just inspired me so much how she could like make these dynamic poses, and I studied how to draw poses, and eventually I figured out how I like drawing bodies and this and that. But my art style has low-key been changing because I'm currently making an animated short, and obviously I can't do that with my current art style, so I've been simplifying it a lot and I've been making it look more cartoony, I guess. You'll see it eventually when I'm done with it. Really, I just focused so much more on improving. How do you manage art block? I think I talked about this a while ago, but I do just take like a cheap pencil and take a random piece of paper and I just draw whatever, no matter how ugly it might look or how stupid. I just lower all expectations. I lower the bar because I think that art block happens when you just expect yourself to do so well, and then if you don't, it just ruins everything. So that's kind of how I avoid art block, really. I just don't expect much from what I'm gonna make. Well, at least for me, if I don't expect much, I tend to do a better job. Sometimes I take a step back, I stop drawing completely and take a break. I do other creative things like journaling and making bracelets and stuff, just so my mind can take a break from thinking about how I should draw the hair and how the eyelashes should look, etc., etc. Yeah, taking a break and stepping away helps a lot of the time. So when and what made you start drawing and doing art? Again, I answered this a while ago. I started drawing because I wanted to draw my favorite book characters. And other than that, I saw my cousin draw like this really hyper-realistic portrait of my brother once, and I was like, whoa, I want to do that too. And that made me want to start drawing spheres and cones and eyes and just whatever you draw when you first start drawing. So yeah. Have you ever thought about doing voice acting? You've got a lovely voice. Thank you so much. I have thought about it, but it's called voice acting, and I'm not entirely sure if I'm good at acting. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I would like to narrate stories, maybe. I don't know. What's the thing that keeps you motivated to keep going on with sketching, making illustrations, etc.? I'm not sure, because if I want to give up, I'll just give up. On a drawing, just not on art. I'm not sure if I'm the right person to ask about this, but I think stepping away for a little bit and coming back to it again with fresher eyes and a fresher mind, it's a lot easier to finish something. Does that make sense? But yeah, that's kind of what I do. I just take a step back and just come back to it when I'm better, mentally and emotionally and physically. But yeah, I think that's it. Thank you to my patrons for supporting my channel and being so nice. And even though I'm not like online all the time, you guys are still there. Thank you. And for those who participated in the Q&A, thank you as well for all your questions. I wasn't able to answer everything as clear as I would have liked, but hopefully you got like at least something in this video, or if not, then I hope I kept you company. Yeah, I love you all so much. I've missed you. I hope I can come back and talk to you about books and manga and anime again soon, because it's been a while. And yeah, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next video, whenever that may be. Bye!